welcome to this cortical mapping session for the cervical spine. So we know mapping is really important because if your brain doesn't know where a specific joint is, you can't control that joint properly. So this is important for people with hypermobility. It's also very important for people who don't have hypermobility, but have issues such as neck issues. So what we should see in a cervical spine is a nice curve, okay? A nice curve in the cervical spine. Spine's a little bit like Beyonce, it gets its strength from its curves. And what happens is if we end up with things like a forward head posture, a military neck is often a common term used, eventually we lose this curve and we end up with a straight neck. It means that every time we walk, we can't really absorb the force from things like ground reaction force. We can't absorb it through our joints properly, and as you hit the floor, that force just reverberates up and you end up feeling it in your neck, and especially here, that suboccipital attachment. Okay, this is not a nice feeling. It feels almost like somebody's trying to twist your head off. So what we essentially want to be doing today is we want to be doing a few mapping techniques to help us regain control of that cervical spine. You often hear me talk about turtling. This is where people lose the ability to actually rotate the head, and the head comes forward, and when they need to turn the head, they just laterally flex like a turtle. Okay? We need to bring the spine back, we need to get it in the right position, and then we need to map. What you're going to find is, especially if you do have a lot of pain here, you're probably going to be way off when we do some of these tests and we do some of these techniques, okay? But let's talk about the setup. You're going to need a laser pen to start. Now, with a laser pen, ideally you want one that has a switch to turn it on. If it has a button, it's going to be a total nightmare. So please try and buy one that has a switch. Then what we're going to do is use one of our closed loop resistance band. Super easy. Johnny, if you can hold that for me, please. And then we're just going to attach the laser pen to the band. Now you can buy the proper setups for these at a grand total of about £350, or you can use my tight arse technique, where essentially we'll just modify it and you can get a laser pen for about £3-4 off Amazon, and these come in packs of 5 or £2-3. Super cheap alternative. Don't break the bank for your recovery. What we're going to do is turn the laser pen on. There we go. And we're going to fit this to the top of Johnny's head. And we're going to stick it under his chin. What we want is that laser pen pointing straight forward. Okay, so now we're actually set up. Let's get him in the right neck position. Remember, if the cervical spine isn't in the right position, it's not going to rotate properly. So these suboccipital points, Johnny, I want you to imagine I'm lifting your head from these points. So what would happen is I do that. So see how Johnny's jawline's pointing down now, because I've lifted him from the back of the head. Lift from the back of the head, jaw points down, then he's going to keep that neck in that position. He's just going to lift his head up. Perfect starting position, okay? He's not hunched over, his neck's not out. He's elongated his neck. Any issues with internal jugular vein compression are going to be kind of sorted out whilst we get into this position. Now, Johnny, I want you to try and get to the center of this, okay? So you at home watching, this is what you're going to do as well. I would get 3 points. They don't have to be symmetrical like this, because again, we're just testing what your maps are like when it comes to your cervical rotation, okay? So in the studio, quite easy because we've got these nice three circles on the board, but you could use picture frames, okay? Or whatever else you need to, or specific points on the wall. But just for the sake of today, we're just going to use these 3 dots. So Johnny, I want you to keep in the middle. I want you to think, feel how that feels when your head's in this starting position, because this is your neutral position. So from here, we're going to go to here. And I want you to go right into this middle section. And I want you to remember how the sensations of your neck feel. We're going to go from there to there, each time getting into the middle. Yep, keep going to the right. So we're just starting with 2 points at the minute, guys. Keep going, Johnny, left and right. Good. Then back to the middle. Now close your eyes, Johnny. So Johnny's eyes are now closed. I want you to go into the right circle, into the middle, or where you think the middle is. Perfect. Open your eyes, Johnny. So you see Johnny's got a really good map there. If we go back to the middle circle, close your eyes, Johnny. Back to the right circle. Aiming for the center. So, yep, open your eyes. So you see Johnny's cervical mapping, spot on, just what we want to see in a practitioner, really. However, you doing this at home, you are probably not going to be like this. What's going to happen is you're going to close your eyes and then you're going to either extend too far or not far enough. So if we look at some of the studies that have been done with rotation and cervical spines, vision is a huge mapping component. We rely massively on visual data to figure out where we are, okay? Even though our necks, sternocleidomastoid scalenes are all contracting and getting stretched when we're moving our neck, our brain often uses vision most of the time to figure out how we're rotating and how much to rotate. There was a good study, I think, in 2014 with VR headsets. They had 3 groups of people using virtual reality. The first group, they didn't change the virtual reality setup. They were just looking in a meadow and everybody got to a certain range. They all had idiopathic unilateral neck pain, and they get to a certain point and be like, ow. The second group, they slowed the frame rates down in the VR headset, which meant that when they rotated their head, they were actually moving way further, but visually they thought they were looking there when actually they were here. And what happened is everybody in this cohort was able to rotate their neck far past where they were able to do it the day before because of pain. And then the third group, what they did was they sped the frame rates up within the virtual reality headsets, which meant when people's heads were actually here, visually, because of the feedback from the VR headset, they thought they were here. So obviously people had a lot of neck pain when they got to here because they actually thought they were here. So vision is a big part of this. So back to our mapping, Johnny, just there, to the right, and then back to the left, yep, and then middle, sorry, and then to the left. Yep, back to the middle. I want you to close your eyes. So Johnny's eyes are now closed. We're going to go to the right. Oh, so open those eyes, Johnny. Middle, yeah, hold there. Close your eyes. Right circle. I want the middle of the right circle. Oh, so he's off a little bit there. So we go back to the center. So if this happens and you are way off, remap. Open your eyes. Center point. Next point. Center point. Next point. Use that visual sensory information to help update your map. Say, look, Brian, where we thought it was is wrong. So we're there. We're there. We're going to go back to the middle. We can close our eyes, Johnny. We're going to, yeah, back to the middle. Right circle. Left circle. Yeah, middle circle, sorry. Right circle. Start position. And open your eyes, Johnny. So he was still within the confines of our circle, which is really good. So remember, if he was to do it and he was way off, we just say remap. Johnny has to open his eyes and he just goes from here to here with his eyes open a few times to help use that visual data, help to update that cortical map. Good. Good. Back to the center, Johnny. Eyes closed. Right, yep, perfect. Back to the center. I just want you to go between the two. I'll tell you if you don't hit them. Now, when he's doing this, he should be feeling for what the muscles of his neck feel like when they get to a certain point. If you hold it on the right circle, Johnny, hold, he'll know how much stretch he's feeling on each side of his neck. And he can use that to help calibrate himself and get that laser into the actual circles. So let's do a little remap, Johnny. And I want to do 2 points this time. We're going to do middle, right, left. Yeah. Middle, right, left. So Johnny's on this, so he's going from the middle to the right, but then he's going from the right and he's going quite a distance to the left. That has a propensity for this to go wrong because we're traveling a further distance. There's a lot of neurological interference that might occur. So we've just got our eyes open. We're just mapping them. And we're back to the middle. Hold. Close those eyes, Johnny. Right circle. Perfect. Left circle. Open your eyes. Ooh. So see how we were quite off there? I mean, Johnny has just driven like 3 hours from Edinburgh to the studio, so his neck muscles are probably all a little bit stiff. So let's remap, Johnny. Middle, right, left. Middle, right, left. middle. Let's close those eyes. So his eyes are closed now. Right, left. Perfect. Back to the middle. Right, left. Perfect. So you see Johnny's way on the mark now when it comes to his mapping. So we've done horizontally. Now we're going to do vertical. Okay, I'm going to use that whiteboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle here. I would if the pen worked. I'm going to draw a circle here. And I'm going to draw a circle here. I'll make it a bit easier for Johnny. Once you get really good at mapping, you can start going down to smaller circles. So Johnny, I want you to go from the middle to anywhere in the top circle. That's it. Middle, top circle. Now, this plane of motion is a little bit harder. Not as hard as diagonal, which we'll cover in a minute, but this is definitely quite hard. So close those eyes, Johnny. Top circle. Try and get it into the center. Wait, perfect. Middle, top. Middle, top. Now, you haven't tried the bottom circle yet, but let's try and go at the bottom, where you think the edge of that whiteboard is. If you open your eyes. So he was out of it, so it gives him a chance to remap. Take it down in the middle so you know the feeling. That's it. Middle, top, bottom. Middle, eyes closed. Perfect. Now let's go middle again. Top, bottom. Let's go to the top. Are you sure, Johnny? Right, if you open those eyes. So see what I mean? We need that visual input to help update those maps, okay? We need to understand the feeling, what's going on with the neck. So I just want you to go from the middle to the top to the bottom, Johnny. All right, let's go to the middle. Let's close those eyes. Let's go to the top. Perfect. Bottom. Perfect. Back to the middle. Top. Bottom. Perfect. So you can see this plane, this vertical plane is definitely way harder, because remember, we turn our heads more than we lift them up and down. Now, one of the issues we've got is the diagonal plane. So I'm going to draw a circle here for Johnny. Then I'm going to draw another circle here for Johnny. Draw them a little bit smaller as well, because I feel like I'm being a bit mean. Remember as well, when it comes to things like dizziness, okay, 3 main systems make up your, if you do have dizziness. Got our eyes, our vision, our vestibular system, and we've got the muscles at the neck, okay? What should happen is that from these 3 areas, eyes, ears, and neck, they all relay the same information to the brain, and then you get this nice clear picture of where you are in space and time. However, if one of them isn't relaying the right information at the right time, at the right speed, then what happens is our overall picture gets a little bit blurry. We get dizzy. So imagine, I often could you hold that please, Johnny? Thank you. I often use this analogy. Imagine I have a semi-transparent picture of a cat, okay? And then I have another 2. If I overlay them perfectly, you'll be able to see the outline of the cat. However, if I don't overlay them perfectly, then that picture is going to be blurry. And that's essentially your vision. That's where dizziness comes from. It comes from these signals not moving at the right speed, not being the right signals. Think when you're on the beach and you walk into the sea, okay? You look down, all your proprioceptors tell you that you're orthostatic, you're stood up and you're not moving. Your inner ear tells your brain, yep, we're not moving. However, the sea coming towards you tricks your eyes and it looks like you're moving forward. And then this mismatch in signal makes you feel a little bit dizzy, in the same way that if you're a passenger in a car. If you're driving your car, generally you're driving your car, and what we find is that your brain is predicting how you're going to turn, how much speed, how much kind of turn of the steering wheel, and it helps to predict and balance you while you turn your car. But if you get into somebody else's car and you're the passenger, your brain can't predict properly how they're going to drive. So that we end up with this prediction error, and then you start getting a little bit kind of motion sickness because of these signals. Okay, things like dizziness are incredibly complex, and they're made up of these three massive components: vision, your vestibular system, and your neck. And generally what you see with all of our hypermobile clients who are dizzy is it comes from the neck, because they end up turtling and there's no proper cervical rotation. It's all from the muscles, so you just end up irritating and pissing off the muscles. So things like these, I love these little mapping exercises because they're really good. So if we go from here, Johnny, to middle, to up, and you'll find, you saw Johnny's map's pretty good, his cervical rotation's pretty good. However, he's probably going to suck at this one because he doesn't generally move his head through the diagonal range. So when you're ready, Johnny, close your eyes. Oh, he wasn't that far off. That's pretty good. All right, if you open those eyes again, remap. So middle, right, left. Good, good, good. Trying to get the center of each one. So Johnny's got his eyes open. And then middle, and let's close our eyes. Yep. Perfect. Middle, left. Good. And relax, Johnny. So you can see, guys, it's a really easy way with just a laser pen to help your mapping system. Because every time you mess this up and you go too far, that's a chance for your brain to recalibrate itself and you get used to your cervical neck position being what it should be. Remember, yes, vision's important, yes, your vestibular system's important, but your neck's just as important. So if you're turning your head and your brain actually thinks your neck's here, that's competing signals. It's gonna start to cause some issues like dizziness, okay? So this is a really good way just to help exercise, move, update those maps, and start to get rid of that dizziness that people with hypermobility experience. But hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you soon. Bye.